Welcome back.
Welcome back. And we're starting.
This is episode 10 of Witches, Legends, and Ghosts.
Oh
my.
This is your host, Hunter Dumas, and
Jade Chanowith.
Coming from you live at the Chanowith household. Chanowith Meyer?
Meyer
Chanowith household.
It'll be eventually.
I hope that we're far enough away. Like, the last two episodes have been very
echoey.
You know that. You guys definitely know that because you're listening to it. So, yeah. So we're hopefully it's better from here on out. No more holding.
Nope.
And we're a good distance apart. I think.
Hopefully.
I think
we are.
We'll be good.
I think we're good.
I think.
Yep.
So today's episode is sponsored by. I'm just kidding. Today's episode. The theme for this episode is Alaska.
Yes.
Also, we decided that we are not doing shots this episode. We just have our little energy drinks. Yum.
Yeah, it's like 10 in the morning.
It is. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with drinking at 10 in the morning if it's healthy. But
right. We just didn't
feel
like it today.
We need some more energy.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need. Yeah. I think alcohol is like a depressant. We just don't need that right now.
Yeah.
So
I'm already depressed. I don't know.
So we have our fair share of that. We're good. But so yeah, just energy drinks for us. Episode 10, Alaska. I want to go to Alaska so bad, bro.
Dude, Kyle and I have talked about doing an Alaskan cruise.
There's nothing I want more. Well, actually there is. Like, it'd be so cool to do a fucking like cruise around like Iceland or something.
Dude, I was looking at that for honeymoons, but then I was like, I kind of want to go somewhere where you don't have to do anything.
Oh,
like, yeah. Just like a full
then you should
expense paid resort. We might be going to Barbados.
Ooh. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, no, you can't, like, when you're on a cruise, you can choose to not do anything.
But
then
you
why
paid
would you
so much
go
money.
on a cruise
right.
if you're not going to, like, they're called, what are they fucking called? When you get off the boat, you do. There's a
trips.
No, ew, no.
I don't know what.
Okay,
I've never been on a cruise.
Okay, what is it called when you get off a cruise ship? No, not disembarkment. Disembarkation. Either. Okay, they're called like expenditures or something like that.
Okay.
But what's the point of going to like Iceland and then going on a cruise and then not getting off the ship to see Iceland, bro?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. So it makes, and also my parents have done like full, what are they called?
Full expense.
Is that what they're called?
Full expense paid. Fully paid. Full.
What is that called, dude? There's a word for this stuff. I can't speak English today.
All expense.
All
inclusive.
All inclusive. Yes.
Christ.
Okay, we did it. We got there. My parents have, because cruises are all inclusive too,
right?
Basically, but yeah. So my parents have gone to like the Bahamas and done like all inclusive resorts, and they say it's like the best thing ever. You literally just sit on the beach. You do nothing. Because you can choose to do nothing. Yeah. And, like, there's casinos, there's drinks. All the drinks are just, like, bring them out.
And the restaurants are all, like, you can go,
there.
at least, like, the one that we were looking at, like, there's one that's on, like, the other side of the island. And by that, it's, like, not that far away at all. Like, you couldn't travel to it. And all of that resort's restaurants would be included, too. So, like, any of the restaurants that's with, it's, like, Sandals or something like that.
Oh, I've seen a lot of commercials about Sandals.
Yeah. So that's what.
That would be really exciting.
I know. Barbados, like, that's so cool.
I know.
We would have to go through the Bermuda Triangle, though.
Ooh. If you haven't listened to our episode about the Bermuda Triangle, you should give it a little listen. Then you'll know some of our reservations about that. But we got off the topic of Alaska. But yes, no, Alaska. All I want to do in life, my number one. This is a big goal, but one of my big life goals is to see a moose in real life. Okay,
dude, I knew you were gonna say that. I don't know why. You probably told me before.
There's just nothing else that there's really nothing else up there. Like, I've been to Europe. Like, okay, like I've never seen a moose or a bear. I want to see a bear in real life.
I think I've seen both.
What?
Where
have you
Yellowstone.
been? Okay, when me and my friend Bella went to Yellowstone, we saw a deer. One deer the whole time we were there.
We were on a tour bus that would just drive us around. Tour bus. What is it called?
There's a different. How come we can't think of words?
I guess it is a. It is a
not
tour because it is a tour.
It's a bus that's touring you around.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not in a band, like not that kind of tour.
No, we were just on the fucking tour bus. You did say that you were a songwriter earlier.
That's true.
That's true. A joke, guys.
I'm not.
Anyway, so
there was a bear that was just like
and there was
walking
a bear.
Yes. That was just like walking up the side of a hill. It was like I have pictures that you can't
on his back
even make it out. No.
That'd be so funny.
It'd be disgusting.
You're just like a bear walking on his back. Yes, like the Yeti. You're just like looking around. Ew, he has like a the typical
rucksack.
Person. Yep, the rucksack over the shoulder, but it's filled with fish and
honey.
It's
like dripping.
And ew. Oh, so you saw a bear and
yeah, we saw the bear. And in the picture you can't even tell.
Yep.
What it is. And then another time we were driving and we like stopped for a second because we saw something and it was like a baby moose, but it was a moose and it was like first getting its like horns and stuff, so it was like running.
It was banging its head up
against the tree. So that was really cool. That was really cool. But I've never seen it like. I really want to like the videos where people are just in their car and it just like walks down the road.
Oh
like,
yeah,
that's what I want.
Yeah.
And
everybody's like, whenever I say that, everybody's like, oh, did you know that moose are so dangerous? Okay, well, I'm not fucking provoking them. I'm not asking them to come up to my car and feeding them. I can admire them from afar. Same with a bear. I want to see a bear, but I don't want to see a bear while I'm like alone on a walking trail, of course. Like,
yeah.
I'm not stupid, okay? No. But moose are just like magical. Do you know how large moose are, okay? It's like wrong. Like I thought,
they're like 13 feet. Right?
I fucking thought they were like the size of a horse or something, but they are much fucking larger than a horse, yeah, bro. Like their antlers are literally like to see that in real life. See something that's like larger than life almost. Same with like a whale.
I was thinking I saw a video. Whoa. I saw a video the other day and it was like they were so close and the whale just like breached up and it like made my stomach drop. It was like one of those things and I was like, oh, I've never thought about this before, but holy shit, like
literally like
crazy.
The smallest part like of a whale is bigger than like us.
Yeah.
Like I know like in our minds we're like, oh, like 6 foot, that's like big, right?
Right.
No, bitch. Like,
no.
If you like look at, I love looking at like the scales where it has like, oh, the size of a blue whale,
and
then
help me visualize though. I like.
No, I have to see it. Like, I have to like see somebody like next to one, like in the ocean,
water,
like.
Yeah.
But there is like, I would love nothing more than to, as much as it would freak me the fuck out, I would love nothing more than to like be like in the water with like a whale shark or something.
Dude,
like
a whale shark for sure. I would love
a whale
to do that.
would be too big.
Whale would scare me. I would have the existentialism as I'm swimming.
Really? Like existentialism? Okay, so I have this fear. Me and Bella have talked about this extensively. And I think I told you about it. I think we talked about this. I have this fear of like large things in water.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like I'm afraid that the whale's going to eat me. There's just something about the fact that it's big and it's submerged and I'm small next to it that
is part of it.
It's like a trypophobia thing. Like I literally thinking about it.
Is part of it that like it as something so big being next to you, something so small, but in the ocean that's so vast that it still looks small. Is that what it is?
I don't know, but the way that you said that is like making me panic.
Oh God.
It's not existential. I don't know what it is. Like even like there's a show. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a reality show about people like renting a yacht and it's about the crew on the yacht. Mm-hmm. And it'll show this crew cleaning the sides of these huge yachts and seeing them next to it. It's like they're half out of the water and you just see the bottom of the yacht. You can't even see the bottom of it because it's just like so deep in the water. No. Why? I could never clean. Even like my boat, like the little speedboat, I mean little compared to like the yachts and stuff. My little speedboat, sitting like being next to the boat freaks me out a little bit. Like I can do it, but like I'm still like irks me. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
So I don't think I could be like swim next to like something that big. Like
a shark is your line.
Yeah, I was gonna say I swam next to a shark, and those are like 15 feet long. Like I was like, okay, that's fine. They also didn't get like close to me.
Yeah.
Well, okay, they got closer than you want a shark to be, but it's not like they weren't like right up against me where I was like so like close enough to see how big, how big they are. But like to see a whale next to me, dude, like you can't even see its head from being at its tail because it's so fucking big.
I hate it.
Also, like if they hit you with their fin, you die. That shit is powerful, and they're a big giant muscle, and that fin is probably, I don't even know how big it is, probably the size of this apartment or something, just one fin or something.
Stop! No way. Stop! Oh my
dude,
God.
I'm like even just thinking about.
Oh, this is
even
awful.
just picturing, because I can picture things you can't.
Yeah.
But even just picturing like a whale here like freaks me out. I don't like it. But I would like to see, like...
a moose.
Like a moose. Or, like, a whale from a boat.
Yeah.
Love going on whale tours. Alaska would be the perfect place to do that.
It would. And for the moose.
And for the moose. So, Alaska. What do we got? Am I going first?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Alaska. It's...
Oh! Before you continue.
Yes.
I just want to say, we already pulled the cards.
Ooh, yes.
So they're already here, and it will be posted on TikTok if you haven't seen it. Anyway.
TikTok, TikTok. If you know what song that is, you're my fave. So Alaska.
Alaska.
Like really big, right? But there's not a lot of people living in it.
Yeah.
So you just know that it's like so beautiful. Also Alaska has the lights that are pretty.
Aurora Borealis.
I don't know what you said, but it's that.
I talk about that.
Oh, okay. Well, it has that, and that's another thing I like about Alaska. But I'm not talking about the pretty things of Alaska.
Oh.
I'm talking about
ugly things.
Ooh. They might be offended if you said that.
Oh.
Yes, ugly things. So, everybody knows about, well, okay, maybe not everybody, but everybody knows about sirens and mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, Hunter.
Ew, I don't like that fact you use my name.
Sorry.
So, I guess I didn't know the difference between sirens and mermaids, but I guess, so sirens are the ones that sing to attract sailors. Mermaids don't sing. They're just pretty. Mm-hmm. But they, like, do the same thing, right? Where they, like, entice men.
Yes.
And then murder.
And then, right?
But I guess Alaska has a version of this, too.
Ooh.
The Inuits call her, because they're all female. How does that work? Wait. Wait. How does that work?
Probably magic.
Okay. So...
well, they have actually, scientists have, like, genuinely found a way to, like, use bone marrow to, like, have a baby so that eventually, like, we
So you think the
won't need
mermaids
men.
know bone marrow?
Yeah, I think they're more advanced than us.
There's, like, a science lab down there.
Yeah.
Not sure how cleanly they can keep that with the...
Probably pretty
the
good.
Water
it's probably pretty good. They probably,
Okay. Well, the Inuits called them... Okay, I'm going to try and pronounce this. I looked it up, and this is what Google told me it's pronounced. Kalupalik.
Ooh.
But it's spelt, like, with a Q. So it's, like, Kalupalik. It looks like it's supposed to be, like, Kualupalik, but it's actually Kalupalik.
I like that.
So the Inuits call them Kalupalik, and they're not pretty in any way. Like sirens and mermaids or whatever are supposed to be pretty. When I was doing the research, they called them, like, they would say that they look like hags. I'm literally like, that's, like, so offensive, okay? So a Kalupalik is an aquatic humanoid with scaly, bumpy skin. Disgusting. They also sometimes, like, the way that they're described is, no, scales is, anyways, really gross.
Okay.
Some people just say that they have fins coming out of their heads, their backs, and their torsos. Which literally.
Stop. Oh my God. Oh, the way that the worst chill just went up my spine to my neck. Just, ooh, it's God.
I don't know if that counts as trypophobia, but I count it as like the same fucking thing.
Oh, that was the worst feeling I've ever had in my entire life.
This isn't that. This part maybe will distract you from the grossness.
Okay.
Their hands obviously are clawed and webbed because they have to swim. And they are like the boogeyman. So.
But in the water?
But in the water.
How does that work?
Well, they would
like while sailors are sleeping? Kind of boogeyman?
No, they only hunted children.
Okay.
Yep. So the Inuit.
Good. All right.
The Inuit parents would like scare their children by with tales of Kalupalik, and I guess they would say that if you smell sulfur. So sorry, what? If you smell sulfur, it's a sure sign that Kalupalik was like stalking you.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
would parents waft sulfur throughout the house to try and make the children behave?
That'd be hilarious. I don't know. I didn't like, because I think that like parents would use it to like scare their kids, right. But it's also like anything else where it's like, is it real or is it not real? Like,
right.
So I think it's also, I don't know, like if you were like, had your kid with you and you were like ice fishing or something, you smelled sulfur, like you're supposed to worry for your kid. Like it's not going to come after you necessarily.
Interesting.
But I guess, so unlike sirens, they wouldn't sing to their prey. They would hum instead. And they would like lurk around like the water's edge or like in between like the ice and stuff. And they would carry, again, I'm going to try and pronounce this. They would carry an amautic on their back, which is like the native like baby backpack that the Alaskans, the Inuits would like wear to like have their babies in.
Yeah.
And they would like sometimes they would hunt during the day and sometimes they would hunt at night. But I'm gonna show you a picture. So like this is what they look like, supposedly. This is like a version.
God.
But also this is a version.
Oh God.
This version's much scary. Much scarier than this. So like kids would like wander away from like their home because like it was Inuits and it's not like we had many. I don't think there was many kidnappers in Alaska. You know, there's no like creepy old pedophiles driving their cars around. Yeah. Like, trying to get you in the back with candy. And so parents, I think, would also threaten, like, if you go out and you don't come back, the Kalupalik will, like, come out and get you.
I see.
So they would hum. And the humming, I guess, supposedly would lure children away from their homes in their village. Because I guess, like, it was almost like only the kids.
Like in Hocus Pocus when she sings and all the kids come?
I haven't seen Hocus Pocus. Or I've seen parts of it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And then I turned it off.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that I don't like Hocus Pocus?
Well,
Pokey.
I thought that you didn't like it because you had seen it and didn't like it.
Well, I didn't see the whole thing. I've seen, like, parts of it.
You
like,
need to see the whole thing.
Are you talking about the part where she's, like, in the bar or something? Or the restaurant, and she, like, gets on the stage? All three of them are on the stage and they're singing?
No.
Isn't that a part where they're singing, like, in a restaurant?
Not a restaurant. Well, it's like a Halloween party.
Well, I watched that, and I was like, dude.
Yeah, that is a weird part. That's weird.
I was literally like, guys, what's...
She's cursing all the parents so they don't notice that the kids are going to be missing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, one of them, like, sings on her broom. Come, little children, I take thee away. That's all I know. And
that tune sounded like, what is it? What is that song from Anastasia? You've never seen Anastasia? Oh my God, you've never seen Anastasia.
That's how I feel about you and have never seen Hocus Pocus all the way through.
Okay, but I've seen parts of it. I've seen, like, there's a book and there's, like, stuff, like...
Book. Sorry,
dude.
I'm quoting.
I can't believe you... Oh, Anastasia is so good. So then you don't even know the song, do you? Let me think about what the song is. I can't remember the words. Once Upon a December. You haven't heard Once Upon a December?
Oh, I think I've heard that.
Once Upon a December.
Ooh, yeah.
That's from Anastasia. Oh, Anastasia's really fucking good. There's also there's a song that the villain sings, which is also amazing. I love a good movie that has a good villain song.
Yeah.
You've seen Princess and the Pauper? Mm-hmm. Okay, the villain song.
That one's good. That one's top tier. That one is top tier for sure.
How does that song go again? Shoot.
I don't know, but I just keep thinking about the Curtis Connor video.
Can I refuse?
With the is it the Princess and the Pauper, or is it the other one where the weasel? I think it's Princess and the Pauper.
No, the weasel is. I love the Barbie princess movies. The weasel is, I think, Rapunzel.
I think you're right. Whatever. Either way, Curtis Connor made a video and he just refers to it as the horny weasel the whole time because he just keeps moaning.
Why is he making these sounds, you guys? Like, it's pretty no kid movie. I've never heard a kid movie with so much moaning as that one.
It's so weird.
I thought, did he also talk about the Swan Lake one? Ooh, the Swan Lake one is really good.
I don't know if he did.
It's really good. All these children are turned into animals. It's so cool.
Did you want to be turned into?
Yes, there was which fox. There was I
would want to be the fox.
Obviously, she was a swan. I think one of them was like a unicorn or something. I can't remember. There's
what did you want?
Or a skunk. There's definitely a skunk.
A skunk.
There's a skunk. So like when he was a human boy, he has like a white on his head. You know, he's like black hair with like white.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, it was like they tried to make like the human version of them also look like the animal version of them.
I like that.
Very cute. I don't know what animal I would want to be.
I'd want to be the
fact fox. That there was like, I'm pretty sure there's a unicorn. Like, I swear to God there's a unicorn. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So back to Hocus Pocus. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
So she lures them out.
Just like
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, which, on her broom.
Yeah.
Singing a song that sounds similar to
a Fantasia song. Right? That's what we determined?
It's not Fantasia. Anastasia. You said Fantasia. I'm like, wait, no, Fantasia. You've seen Fantasia, one. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That was like my favorite thing as a kid. So, yes. So she takes the kids. She lures them. She puts them in her. Oh God, how to pronounce it? She puts them in her moutik on her back after luring the children in by humming, and then there's a sulfur smell and whatever. She puts them in their back, and then nobody knows like what she does with them afterwards.
So she could be taking them and like just making them like her. Maybe that's how they get more. They take the kids and they turn them into.
They only get female kids.
Yeah.
So some people think that she eats them.
Okay.
Others think that she takes them to an ocean cave and puts them under a sleeping spell.
Okay.
And they some people think that she puts them under a sleeping spell in a cave because the Kalupalik need children's energy to stay alive. So as long as they're children, placing them basically like in a coma, like they can the Kalupalik can live forever off of these children's energies.
That's how Hocus Pocus is.
Oh my gosh, wait, really? Okay, so this girl is the witch from Hocus Pocus now.
Yeah, because they have to take the life force from the children to stay young and youthful. Yeah.
So that's what this
is. This is weird.
Some others suggest that Kalupalik, like you said, kidnap children and then raise them as their own.
That's what I was thinking.
Which immediately, when I was researching this, made me think of the Barbarian.
Ooh. Stop.
Dude, she kind of looks like a Kalupalik, bro.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
She turns into spindly, she's just not aquatic, basically.
Yeah.
That is literally the only difference. Well, and it's also not children, but
right.
Still, so if you haven't seen the Barbarian, basically this woman who had horrible things done to her, she turns into this crazy monster, basically, where she gets extra big, extra strong, strength, and she's really pale, and she has dark hair, and it just hangs everywhere, and she's disgusting. And she was keeping people and adults, having them breastfeed. Mm-hmm. She was breastfeeding them or feeding them bottles and keeping them in a cage because she had something.
Wanted to
raise them as her own baby, so she feels protective over them. So whenever they would try to run away, she would it's almost like that, like, I brought you into this world, I can take you out of it. Mm-hmm. So she would, like, kill people if they didn't follow through with, like, being her child, basically. Yeah. So when I was doing this research, I was like, I feel like the barbarian kind of took maybe a little something from, like, the mythology of this. If you haven't seen the barbarian, it's fucking...
It's so good, especially because we had predicted the ending within the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then halfway through the movie, it like starts over, and we were both we were like, "What the hell is going on?" And then it fully was not anything like what because we didn't know what it was about going in. We just knew that it was.
The trailer looked creepy, and we were like, "Okay, cool,
cool, yeah, done." That was it. So, yeah, it's different. It's crazy.
Well, now you know what happens.
Yeah,
but.
It's so
At first, we were like, oh, man, like, the main character, like, he's such a creep, and he's gonna kill her.
But I kept saying, what if that's a red herring? Because I wanted to like him so bad because he seemed so genuinely nice.
Oh, yeah, no. And such, like, a nerdy...
Oh, my God.
Well, he died.
Pretty painfully, too.
Actually, yeah. Pretty bad.
Anyway.
So, if they couldn't lure children away from their parents, they would, like, knock under the ice to, like, you know, like... Children are like, oh, like, what is that? Children are stupid, okay? So they would, like, entice them to, like, an ice hole, and then once they're over there, they would, like, grab them, and then get out of there. So some people think, too, that parents would warn against the Kalupa leak because of, like, the harsh weather. Like, they don't want their kids wandering out or wandering too close to the ice or to, the water because, like, they could die. And that's sort of, I think, some people attribute, like, the Kalupa leak origin to concerned parents, basically, because of the intense environment.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, another thing. It's not like decided whether the Kalupa leak is one. If it is a she, like one Kalupa leak, or if it's like a race.
Oh, interesting.
Of Kalupa leak, a race of them. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it just depends. So she could be like like Bigfoot. Or it's just like a race of scary, like unicorns. Like,
well, but people think that Bigfoot. There's multiple.
Wait,
Bigfoot
really?
Is a race. Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, then she's just like Bigfoot.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Love it.
And that's the Kalupa leak.
Interesting.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, very gross. Don't worry, we'll show you pictures.
Don't worry, we will show you pictures. And then, like a quicker one, another like mythological, if you want to call them that, creature thing being that is talked about in Alaska is called a mahaha.
Okay.
And the mahaha, the name is really quite disgusting and hilarious, because basically the mahaha is an emancipated looking demon with like cold, grayish, blue, pale skin, long, dark brown hair. You know what? He almost looks like the Kalupa leak in that, like, he's just pale, large, spindly, dark hair that just hangs down, and he has claws instead of, like, regular fingernails. But he's, like, always smiling.
Oh, I really don't like that.
He's always smiling, and he's giggling, and that's how people can tell if he's near. They can just hear, like, this, manic giggling. Maniac. Giggling.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. And do you want to know how he kills people?
Please tell me.
By tickling them to death.
Oh, God. That's horrible. That's horrible. What the hell?
So, and then according to, like, Inuit legend, you know if somebody was killed by a mahaha if they are found dead with a large pained smile on their face because they're getting tickled, but they're also dying.
Oh, God. Yeah. That's horrifying.
Isn't that funny, though? Like, his name's Mahaha. And then, like, tickle. Yeah. So here's, like, one picture. Look how long his claws are. God. And then, like, yep. Terrifying.
Is that like similar? Okay, this is gonna be
looks
really
like stupid. What? Hello. What?
I was about to say this is a really stupid question, but is he considered a creepypasta?
I don't know if he's considered one.
Because he for sure looks like one that would be included in the which creepypasta boyfriend would be your boyfriend unquote of.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, like the quizzes?
Yeah.
I didn't know there were so many.
Oh,
I didn't know there's so many creepypastas that you could even have a quiz.
Oh.
I thought there was just like Slenderman.
No, there's a lot.
Oh.
And people have like fan art of them looking like hot.
Like shirtless?
Maybe not shirtless,
like
but like
traps.
no, but like
In mid
beautifying them instead of like the
Jeffrey
actual
Dahmer.
creepy. Well, there is like Jeff the Killer, and the actual picture that it's referencing is like disgusting, but people like draw him like super hot.
Ew.
I feel like I just really exposed myself.
You're like, yeah, I would take those quizzes. I would take them over and over again until I got the one I wanted.
But I didn't have to take them over and over again because I would always get the one that I wanted.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not saying who it is. No.
Okay. Okay.
I can tell you.
Okay, yeah. You'll have to tell me after this and then show me
I
pictures.
will.
But, yeah, so that's...
I wrote a fan fiction about him. Anyway. And by wrote, I mean I had the idea and wrote the title in a notebook, but then never actually wrote it.
No.
Ever.
It's a theme.
This is a running theme for myself. I have lots of started stories.
Lots.
I finished.
I'm able to read what there is available, and then I never know what happens because there's nothing else to happen.
Yeah.
We literally have spent hours on Sims, like putting together these characters. Only like nothing comes out of it.
Listen, it's so hard. Because I want it to be perfect. And, like, it's like I can't... You know what I mean? So when I first try and write it, I'm like, what if I can't... What if I can't, like, get exactly how I want it? I'm still figuring out the car crash scene. I still need to make sure... Oh my gosh.
That's just going to be so hard, though. Like, I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything about cars.
I know. I've been doing research. I've been doing research so that I can figure out how this happened. Like,
I hate research.
Oh my gosh. Why are we doing a podcast if you hate research?
Well, I hate, like, research with stuff like that. Like, I don't care about car crashes or how they happen. You know
but I have to care about it if I'm putting it in my book.
No, I would just not write it. Anyways, I would just not write the car crash.
So important. It's like
it's
the biggest plot point.
Just don't write that part and make it after. You could do that.
I could do that.
And then, like, write the book from that point on, and then if you finish it and you decide, I feel like that might be a little important, you could go back and do that last, and then at that point, you already have, like, a lot of the work done, so it's not going to seem as, like, daunting to, like, write that.
It's just so important. That's, like...
Oh, say, can you see? Anyways, what were we talking about? Mahaha. Oh, yes. Creepypasta, large smile on his face. That reminded you of somebody. Yes. Okay. So he would set up traps around Alaska for people to, like, fall prey to. And then if there was, like, a group, he would usually, like, try and separate people so that he could, like, kill each of them, like, pick them off one at a time.
Oh, God.
He's really nice like that.
Sounds like it.
He just wants you to laugh. That's it.
I don't like that.
With his long claws scraping your sides, tickling you, but also killing you. But I guess according to
from laughing or like
it doesn't say. It literally doesn't say. I've looked and it like they're like we don't know if it's the laughter or if it's like he's literally just slicing you in half.
Right.
But I'm assuming it's the laughter because you know it says like oh you have a big smile on your face when you die and that's how you like if you find somebody in the snow dead. That's how you know it was him because it's like why are you smiling?
Okay.
But I guess he's like easily tricked. Mahaha is easily
with
tricked.
Whiskey?
No, not whiskey. That's not his weakness. No.
Okay.
No, his weakness is just his stupidity. So,
good.
Some people have tricked him by asking for one last drink of water before he kills them, and then they like basically trick him into going to like rivers, and then they push him in, and then he dies from drowning.
He doesn't know how to swim?
Because he doesn't know how to swim, I guess.
I guess his claws are not very helpful.
No, he doesn't have webbed. He's not like the Kalupalik with the web fingers. No. So he's literally like the tickle monster, but like
scary.
But like you die.
But like you're dead.
Yeah, but like you're literally dead. But I just love that. Like I'm picturing like this big like he sets a trap, you fall into his trap, the scariest looking, spindly, tall, white, pale, long-haired greasy, long-fingered, clawed, smiling man comes out between the trees. And he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up, bro. I'm gonna tickle the shit out of you. And you're like, but I'm thirsty. Can I have one last drink of water? And then you guys just, like, walk. Like, it's Alaska, okay? There's not river, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it might take you days to get to fucking water. And so you guys are just, like,
especially water deep
helping
enough
each other
like
survive. Like, you guys are hunting together, sleeping together for warmth, like, not sleeping next to each other for warmth and all that stuff. And then once you get to a river,
you push him in.
He's like, no. That's so funny. Like, it's so funny to imagine you're, like, bargaining with this, I don't know, 13-foot man.
He's 13 feet?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just making that up. But he's tall. You're bargaining with this 13-foot man saying, I'm thirsty. And he's like, oh, my God, not another thirsty one. And he falls for it every single time. So
how does he come back to life then?
Well, I don't know. If there's, I just think it's funny to imagine.
So there's multiple? Or is it just one?
See, I think that he's another thing where they don't know if there's just one. I think the general consensus is that it's
just one.
That it's multiple.
Oh.
Because people say he'll drown. Like they're
that's
easy
what.
to
Yeah.
trick, but
they're easy to trick. Okay.
But I like to imagine that there's just one, and he doesn't drown. He just people pull the same trick on him over and over again, and
then they just run away
every single time. He just can't get out, so he's getting pushed down this super strong Alaskan river,
and then down miles. A waterfall eventually.
Down a waterfall. You hear him laughing as he falls down. And that's all the time he's smiling, right?
God!
He's just constant smile. So that's the ha. He's really gross, but also he's hilarious.
Yeah, he sounds disgusting.
I love him. He's not a creepypasta because it's an Inuit legend, but he could be.
He could be for sure.
So that was my Alaskan stories.
Yay! Okay.
Oh, I see science on your side.
I'm very excited for this. So, I'm gonna talk about the HAARP conspiracy theories. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so here we go. This is really exciting. So HAARP stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program.
Right.
Okay. It was located in Gakona, Alaska.
Gakona.
Yeah. And it was jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, also known as DARPA.
I've never heard of DARPA. They sound mysterious.
Yeah, I know. So,
let's get a job there. Expose their secrets. Anyways.
So, HAARP's purpose was to analyze the ionosphere. Do you know where that is?
Nope.
Okay. So, I'm going to put up a picture. So, here's Earth, and this is the atmosphere. We live in the troposphere.
Okay.
There's stratosphere, mesosphere.
So, airplanes are in the troposphere, too.
How high do planes go? In kilometers.
Let me see. How high do planes fly? Altitude between in kilometers. 8 to 12. 8 to 11.
Okay, then yeah, also the troposphere.
Okay.
So the ionosphere is the very highest part of the atmosphere.
Okay.
So
they research stuff that goes on in there.
Yes. The purpose was to analyze and investigate the potential for developing ionospheric enhancement technology that would be used more for radio communications and surveillance. They said for civilian Earth? And defense purposes.
Defense against aliens?
Earth.
Oh, okay. Because you said civilian, and so I was like, okay, well, if it's not civilian, then what is it?
Maybe, I don't know, man.
It'd be really cool. Do we have an alien task force, guys?
No, but we have now the Space Force.
We do. No, okay, listen. There was this time where I wanted to go into the army because I was like...
Does everyone have that? Because I also had that.
And also, it was between the army or the FBI. But I was looking...
FBI, yeah.
Because I already had my bachelor's. At the time, I was wanting to do this. And I was like, if you go into the army with a bachelor's, or if you get it while you're in there, you are immediately an officer.
Yes.
So you're automatically just making more money just because you have an education. It doesn't matter what you have education in. As long as you have a bachelor's, you're automatically an officer. So you don't have to go through boot camp.
Right.
You go through officer training, which is like about leadership and whatever. So I was looking into that and also like the FBI. But when I was looking into it, as I was like looking into it, that's like when Space Force came out. And I was like, oh, dude. There would be nothing cooler. Like literally not a single thing cooler than being a part of the Space Force, especially because it's new. So they're obviously still looking for so many, like, I mean, the Army's always looking for people, but like it's new. They need people in there. Like they need people in there. And I was like, oh my God, like this is like a sign I should do it. But then I thought, oh, like I'm not going to be able to like have a dog or anything because like if I get sent to Japan or something, like I'm not going to make my dog come all the way to Japan with me.
Right.
Like I would feel so bad. And so the thought of like you have to commit, and also like there's really no point for me to go into like the Army if you're not going to do the 20 years, because after 20 years you can retire and you get paid for the rest of your life. But 20 years is a long ass time to commit, because anything less than 20 years you won't get a check for the rest of your life. You have to do 20 years and then they'll pay you every month for the rest of your life. And I was like, that's the only reason that I would like do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not committing to 20 years. That's like, dude, it's a really fucking long time. But yeah, so Space Force. It's so interesting.
I don't think I could ever like go to space if it ever became like a thing.
Really?
I think it would.
Well, you have the airplane thing, so it's like the airplane thing to the max.
Yeah,
bro.
especially because like there's this. So Jacksepticeye did a video.
What the fuck?
About like it was like a VR game where like you had to go outside, like you were at the International Space Station and you had to like go out, clip yourself to whatever and go fix something. And so he's like in this VR and you like oh
God, does he go off in space?
No, but you step off and he couldn't make himself step off because it was like bothering him, because the look of like Earth was so far down. Oh, it freaked me out, and I wasn't even like in the VR thing. I was just watching
it.
Yeah. Oh, thinking about it right now. Oh God.
Wow. I mean, I have a fear of heights, so like it would obviously it's not like an up or down thing out in space, you know?
Yeah.
But like seeing if like the Earth was below me and it was small, or like nothing below me, it's almost like you going out, like there's that worry of like gravity, I'm gonna fall, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Obviously that's not how space works.
Right.
If it was, then where would you fall to? Just saying. Anyways. So
space.
Yes, space.
Crazy.
But okay, I read this book. Oh, you need to read this book. It's such an easy read. It's really quick. I don't know if I told you about it, but it's like these two guys who are like sent from Earth to go out.
You sent it to me. I read it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
The one about the gays?
Oh, maybe not.
No. I don't think I did. This one is.
You sent me another one. You sent me the one about the two guys and then the girl, and then.
Oh, that was for my love triangle book. No, this one is like, it's so creepy the whole time. Like, you know, there's something else going on, but like, I don't want to spoil it. I don't know if you're gonna read it. It's like a really quick read. Will you read it?
I don't know, but I really want you to tell me about it.
So basically, like, these two guys are Earth at this time was like divided into two different factions. Okay. And so like the factions like hate each other. The other side's doing it wrong. Blah blah blah. And so they took the one guy from this faction, one guy from this faction to go into space, and they're supposed to look for this new planet to like, obviously, you know, like we want to survive on a new planet. Earth is dying. Whatever. And so there's like this like almost like a Siri. There's like a Siri in the ship, and then there's like this little robot that goes around and cleans things. Okay. But it turns out that like they like saw blood on something, and they're like, that's weird. What is that? And they eventually like go up into like the center piece.
You did tell me about this.
Yes, they go to the center part of the ship, and there's just like bags filled with clones of themselves. And so like if they like eventually find out what's happening, the ship, the Siri and the robot kill them off. And there's this one scene where one of the guys, because they're lovers, every story, every time you like, because it restarts with the clones. Every time you read it, they like become lovers. But so his like lover is out like doing something outside of the ship, and he like the other guy's inside, and the other guy, like, let go, and so he, like, is floating, but he's, like, tied to the ship, right? And so the guy said he's, like, pulling the rope to, like, get closer, and then eventually he just, like, is holding it, and it's, like, cut off. And so he's just, like, fucking floating out in space, and that's when the guy inside panics and is, like, putting the suit on, and he sees that it's the little cleaning robot that literally cut him off because they were onto it. They were, like, onto the fact that, like, this isn't, like, there's clones of them and whatever. And, like, the little robot, like, punctures his, like, helmet. And so they, like, are both dying out in space. And their bodies are just, like, floating out forever. Like, this book is so creepy.
Oh, God.
But it's also, like...
horrifying. Yeah.
No, literally. Like, can you imagine if your lover is just, like, outside on the ship, like, fixing this, fixing that. And he's, like, trying to come back in. And then...
gone.
Like, there's no... You can't run after them. There is no running after them.
No.
Like, that's... Okay, so there's that.
So there's that.
Space is almost like the ocean, though. Like, you can't, like, run in the ocean. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can still decide what...
There's still a bottom and a top, though.
Exactly. And you can still decide where you want to go. Like, it's, like, opposite in space, you know?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, so
HAARP.
HAARP.
So, one of the main instruments that they use to, like, do all of this stuff is the Ionospheric Research Instrument, or the IRI. It is a high-power radio frequency transmitter that operates in the high-frequency band.
Okay. Sure.
So what it does is it excites a limited area of the ionosphere, and then another instrument that they have is used to collect the data about physical processes that happen when the atoms are excited and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so the reason why they're doing this is because they want to be able to study the, like, natural process that happens when they get excited by solar interaction.
Okay.
So they're just doing it at, like, a smaller scale, basically, just to be able to, like, see what happens, basically. And the reason why this is really important is because the ionosphere is, like, how we have communication, like, with cell phones and everything. So, like, basically what, like, when you let me see how to... So when you send a message, it, like, gets sent up to the ionosphere and bounces back to the cell tower.
Okay.
So it's, like, it's all, like, bouncing.
Okay.
So, like, basically... Yeah. So basically, they wanted to be able to see if something happened, like, in the ionosphere, how would that affect, like, how we communicate? Would it be detrimental? Would it not do, you know? So, like, that's the kind of stuff that they're, like, looking
They're looking
at.
to see if something happens in the ionosphere, if that would change our communication?
Yeah.
What do they think is going to happen?
So I was watching a video about this, and, like, one of the examples they gave was, like,
the aliens... I'm just kidding. I changed everything to aliens.
Was, like, if, like, an enemy of the U.S. or something, like, had something explode above our ionosphere that, like, left a bunch of particles or something like that, like, would that, so we couldn't communicate with people.
We would need it, especially if that was...
Yeah, exactly. So something interesting about the facility that it's in is that before it was HAARP, it was a military radar site that was used to detect Soviet bombers.
Okay.
Because if you picture Alaska, it's very close to Russia, which was...
Dude, I forgot that we're talking about Alaska right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought we were just talking about space. Like, okay, so this is in Alaska.
Yes.
Right. The theme
Remember
is Alaska, guys.
Gakona, yes.
Gakona.
So, fun fact. Aurora Borealis, which is you talked about earlier.
Yes.
They happen in the ionosphere.
Okay.
And it happens when the ions of solar wind collide with oxygen and nitrogen atoms. And then it produces this
pretty
like, glow. And apparently, I'll have to show it to you later.
Okay.
Apparently, it makes noise.
What?
It's awful. It's the worst noise I've ever heard. The way they describe it, I'll say how they describe it, but then I'll tell you what it really sounds like. So they say like crackling, static, glass hitting glass, and dogs barking. It is like...
Wait, I'm going to look it up actually right now.
Do it.
What is it?
Aurora Borealis or just Northern Lights makes noise.
Aurora Borealis noise. Okay. So let me make sure I'm still recording. Okay, it didn't change my recording at all. Yeah, so we just listened to it, and I don't get the dog barking part.
No.
And honestly, I don't think it's that bad. It sounds like...
I did not like it.
It literally sounds intergalactic. It sounds like somebody's trying to talk to us. It sounds like...
Yeah.
Like
Transformers.
It sounds like a radio that, like, people are, oh, you know, like, do you watch Ryan and Shane go ghost hunting or anything?
Sometimes.
So they have, like, this device that, like, takes a whole bunch of different radio waves and then, like, meshes them together, and basically, like, ghosts apparently can, like, communicate and say words through that.
Yep.
And it reminds me of, like, that a little bit, where, like, it's almost like I can hear, like, a person talking, but it sounds like like the connection is so bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point,
glass breaking or something.
The glass breaking, I get, like, glass hitting glass, but it's, like, such, like, a sparkly, it's such a sparkly, like, head up and, like, top of your head kind of tingly noise that's, like, not... I don't like it, especially the first time I listened to it was with headphones, surround sound, and and then you keep listening to it, it keeps going. Oh god, I don't like it.
I kind of like it.
So, basically, they ended up being shut down in 2014.
Oh shit.
I don't know why. I think it's
HAARP.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then they transferred all of like the instruments and stuff to the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and researchers can pay to use these things if they want to. So during the peak of HAARP's research, these were what HAARP could do, like the main capabilities is how they worded it.
Okay.
They could generate VLF, or very low frequency radio waves. Mm-hmm. And they did this with modulated heating. And they did it in, there's so much. Okay. So they did it with modulated heating in the auroral electrojet. So basically there's an electric current that travels around the ionosphere, and they were generating very low frequency radio waves by like heating that part up. Okay. Because in order to make these radio waves, it's almost impossible to make these really, really, really low ones, because they would need such big transmitters to be able to make the super, super low frequency.
Yeah.
Another one was they could generate artificial air glow. This is a faint emission of light by an atmosphere. I have a picture. So like that's out in space. You see how it just kind of like that's bouncing off of the,
Can we see that from Earth?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
I forgot where it said like when, but like yes, sometimes you can.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Do you know?
No.
Like, it's pretty, but
I don't know what the point was. Another one was generating ELF, or extremely low frequency waves. Oh. And then generating Whistler mode VLF signals. These signals are usually created by lightning, so like lots of power and energy and stuff.
You mean lightning, like when the jackalopes would get on only during the lightning storm? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly.
I just want to make sure it's the same time.
Yep. The exact same time. And so they can generate these to enter the magnetosphere, which I believe is below the ionosphere, and move to the other hemisphere from wherever it's like going up, in order to interact with Van Allen radiation belt particles. So the Van Allen radiation belt is a zone of energetically charged particles which mostly originate from solar wind, and they're in the magnetosphere. So they're just kind of chilling, hanging out. And then they would send up VLF signals and let that go to the other side of Earth, basically, through the Van Allen belt.
Why are they doing this? Like, what is that? I don't understand.
I don't know.
So this is what people can do with the equipment that HAARP, that no longer is running, was doing.
Yes. And then now I'm going to list the different research that has been included for this. There's a lot. I'm not going to explain all of them because that would have been so much if I were to do that. But if we ever in the future want to go just more in depth on like the science part of that is just right up my alley. So research has included plasma line observations, stimulated electron emission observations, gyro frequency heating research, the blurring of ionospheric echoes of radio waves due to irregularities in electron density. So just a lot of stuff in the ionosphere. High velocity trace runs, air glow observations. This one's really interesting. Heating induced scintillation observations. So scintillation is like when you see lights in the distance and they look like they're twinkling or like changing color, like the variation in brightness or color of a star. Like if you picture, like imagine that, and like maybe sometimes you like when it's really far away and you're staring at it, it kind of like changes from like a green to a blue to like a, and you're like, why are you changing color? Scintillation. This is because
scintillation is like what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not actually.
No. So what it is like I looked this up. I don't have it written down, but from what I remembered looking up, like the reason why this happens is like, especially in space, the amount that it has to travel through.
Okay.
Like it kind of warps what it looks like because of changes in like air density, basically. It's like when it gets to the atmosphere, it kind of like, you know how like sometimes when the moon is like on the horizon more, it looks like way bigger.
Oh yeah.
It's because it's going through more, or is it less? No, it's going through more of the atmosphere to like for you to see it, so it like enhances it, basically, and makes it look bigger.
Strange.
Yeah. So anyway, they also did the very low frequency and extremely low frequency generation observations, radio observations of meteors. This one is crazy. Polar mesospheric summer echoes, or PMSE, have been studied, which is the phenomenon of anomalous radar echoes found between 80 to 90 kilometers in altitude that is in the Arctic from May through early August, and November to February is in the Antarctic. Huh?
I don't know what that means.
What the fuck is that? There's radar echoes between 80 and 90 kilometers in altitude.
I don't know what that means, bro.
Radar, I don't know. Like there's something that's going on up there, and they don't know why or why it switches poles.
Is this a noise or?
The radio waves, I guess. Yeah.
And that's a lot of 80 kilometers is like
really high
far.
Up there. Yeah. And they don't know why it's there or why it migrates and why it does when it does. Like,
does it impact anything?
No.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
when it's not impacting anything, you're like, okay, so then why is this even happening?
Why is it? Exactly. Yeah. They also did research into extraterrestrial high frequency radar echoes, which was called the Lunar Echo Experiment. So basically, I'm sure you've heard of this, where we've like been receiving like radio frequency signals, like, or we did for a while. It was like 1970 or something like that. So I think they were trying to like research more about that. Testing the spread of spectrum transmitters, seeing how meteor showers could impact the ionosphere, response and recovery of the ionosphere from solar flares and geomagnetic storms, the effect of ionospheric disturbances on GPS satellite signal quality, producing high-density plasma clouds in Earth's upper atmosphere. Why we need to do that, I don't know. That's so weird. And then also underground imaging.
Underground imaging?
Yeah. So, as you might think, this is a topic of a lot of conspiracy theories as to what exactly HAARP like what exactly they're capable of, like if they're capable of more of what they say. So a man named Michael Chosadovsky claimed that there was evidence that suggested that HAARP could trigger floods, hurricanes, droughts, and earthquakes.
Trigger?
Yeah, like they could control the weather, basically.
Like a little switch that they can oh, today we're gonna go, oh yes,
this one and here. Yeah, so they've been blamed for different thunderstorms, major power outages, the downing of TWA Flight 800, the Gulf War Syndrome, and chronic fatigue syndrome.
Gulf War Syndrome? What the fuck is that?
It is something that people from both sides of the Gulf War, which happened from 1990 to 1991, I think, from what I read last night.
Okay.
It was only, or maybe 1991 to 1992. I'm so sorry if that's wrong. And basically people from both sides experience it. It's just like symptoms where like fatigue and like headaches and like basically like just so I don't know why they're I don't know why HAARP is blamed for that. Like that just seems like something that the war caused.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what?
Yeah. So anyway, this was interesting. A Russian military journal wrote that ionospheric testing would, quote, trigger a cascade of electrons that could flip Earth's magnetic pole, end quote. Now, the thing about this is that the Earth...
Doesn't it do that?
Yeah, I was going to say that. The Earth's magnetic pole does flip. We, like, can see that in like, the crust, like, the way that things align. They saw it... I think it's, like, in the ocean. Is like, the evidence for that. Basically, we're overdue for a flip.
Does that change things? Like, what is that? Is that like...
So the only thing that it would change... So, okay, I've done so much research on this. This stuff is so fascinating. The only thing it would change would be if you used an actual compass, everything would be backwards if the poles flipped. And when it flipped, there would be like a period of time when the ozone isn't as strong, which means that like the sun would be a little more harsh and you would have to wear like extra sunscreen and stuff because it's not like in place because things are like shifting. Something interesting about that though is that people think that like the trumpet noises is the Earth getting ready to switch because I guess we're like whatever quote we're supposed to like we're overdue for the poles to flip essentially.
They say that about that one volcano too, like
in Yellowstone. Yeah.
I thought it was in California.
Yellowstone.
Oh, that's closer than
super
California.
Volcano.
Why did I think it was California?
I don't know.
Dude, why did I think it was California?
I don't know.
I'm so confused. Maybe there's other volcanoes near California. Like maybe like the like the underwater volcanoes or whatever. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's one.
Or maybe you're thinking of like how they say that California is going to like separate from
that might be it. Isn't that
or like the big earthquake?
Oh, I think that's
Hema always says that she never wants to go to California because she, and I quote, okay? This is what she says. She says, I know that as soon as I land there, that's when the big one will hit.
I just don't want to go to I've been to California once, and
I've been in
just,
LAX airport when I went to Hawaii, and that's it.
Look.
So anyway,
wait. Before we
Yes.
we were talking about? We were just talking about before California. We're talking about Yellowstone.
Super volcano.
We were talking about the trumpet sounds.
Okay,
wait. So why do people think that the trumpet sounds like
people
does it make noise?
It's like the sound. We don't know. It's never flipped in the time that humanity has like been around.
Oh, then how do we know that it's flipped before?
Because of evidence in the crust of the ocean, like the way that the Kyle would be better explaining that. Hey, baby. Yeah. Can you come here for a sec? We're gonna have a guest.
Unsuspecting guest. Kyle, everyone.
Hi, everyone. This is my fiance. He's a geologist, so he's better at explaining this.
We're talking about the trumpet sounds, basically. And I said, like, does it make noise when the poles flipped? And Jade said, like, we don't know because it's never happened during humanity. And I said, okay, well, then how do we even know that this has ever happened? So that's our question. How do we know that the poles have switched before? Put you on the spot.
Well, essentially, it has to do with magnetism of minerals in the crust of the Earth. So at plate tectonic boundaries, there's divergent boundaries where, like, the Earth is separating from each other at a central point. And so obviously the stuff that's new coming out is young, and so the stuff further away is old.
That's right.
And the minerals, for some reason, the magnetism of the minerals that come up at the plate boundary will just flip occasionally. So scientists have looked at the crust, mainly in the ocean, and there's a pretty strong pattern of it flipping, like I don't remember what the time period was, but it was like every 20 million years or something, it would just flip.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So it's the magnesium, not the magnesium. What did I say? The magnetism of the minerals.
Yeah.
We can see that it's like flipped.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know that there was magnetism in the minerals.
I could picture like the diagram of that in my head, but I couldn't remember the actual science behind it at all.
Yeah, if you find the diagram, it literally just looks like someone drew a checkerboard on the.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's like back and forth flipping.
Yeah, it's just like black and white.
Yeah.
Perfectly alternating, like someone intended to do it.
Because it's the same
like
on
somebody
both sides,
designed it?
right? Because it's as it goes up, it's like creating the new stuff, so it's like the same on both sides.
Yeah, because it's pushing it outwards.
Okay,
So
that
it's,
makes
like,
sense.
symmetric.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, now we know.
Thank you.
I knew we had him around for some reason, right?
So
okay,
anyway,
so there is proof. Got it.
Yes. So that's why, and so people think that the trumpet sounds are actually like the Earth getting ready to.
So when
flip.
it does flip, we will know because it will show.
But like not. It doesn't show up that quick. Though, is the thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I was gonna say like they're all just waiting.
Know if you just have a compass sitting out and one day it just flipped, you know what happened.
That's so weird. That would like change. It like really wouldn't change a lot.
No.
But like, the north is in one direction. Like, right? The north is in one direction. If the poles flip, it just this is going back to existential. It like I don't know how to describe it. Like this is like we have a north. What if that switches?
We call it true north.
Everything else. Yeah, but it's like
everything would be flipped, but
everything would be flipped. Like
affect
now Florida is in the north. Is that what you're saying? Like what the fuck?
Because of the magnetic poles, yes, but still.
Are the maps going to be flipped too?
But still.
Upside down map.
Physically.
The mitten's now facing this way. Like what the fuck?
No. No, we don't flip.
Globes come out, but like the Earth is like upside down.
We don't flip. The magnetic poles flip.
Yeah, but
anyway, so yeah, that could happen apparently if you
trumpets
do the ionospheric testing.
And the trumpets hang out.
Anyway, former governor of Minnesota, Jesse Ventura, who is also a documenter, questioned if HAARP could be used to manipulate the weather or to bombard people with mind-controlling radio waves.
The weather and mind control are two very different things.
Very different things. Very different things. Some people think this one, okay. Some people take this a little too far.
Oh.
As with any conspiracy theory,
anything.
They can turn dangerous. So, two Georgia men were arrested on drug charges in November 2016. And they were plotting domestic terrorism because they believed that HAARP could manipulate the weather, control minds, and trap the souls of people. So they do
they have any sort of mental illness?
That's not mentioned, but you know what is mentioned? That quote, God told them to go and blow this machine up that kept souls, so souls could be released. End quote.
So
Release the souls.
My thing is, if this, okay, say that these two men are telling the truth, and they were doing this shit.
Okay, yep.
They would be hiding everything they're saying. We wouldn't even know why. Like, they would just, they would just say that these two men were on drugs, and, like, that's why they're in prison. They were doing illegal drugs. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't be, like, posting information about what they were saying. Do you know what I mean? If it was true, and they wanted to, like, because nobody was really suspicious of it probably before this point. So, like, it sounds like they have a lot of... It sounds like they need therapy.
Probably.
Maybe some substance abuse stuff.
Yeah. So, back to the science part of it.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
No more drugs, guys.
No more drugs, no more conspiracy.
No God.
A Stanford University professor, Umran Inan.
Umran Inan?
Yeah, isn't that the coolest name?
I was literally about to say that's the
coolest name. He said that conspiracy theories are just that. They're just theories. Because, quote, there's absolutely nothing we can do to disturb the Earth's weather systems. Even though the power HAARP radiates is very large, it's minuscule compared to the power of a lightning flash. And there are 50 to 100 lightning flashes every second. HAARP's intensity is very small, end quote. So, as they said before, they were trying to, like, make something that only lightning makes.
Right, yeah.
So that they could. So, yeah, if they're just trying to mimic that, I mean, I don't think there's anything to these theories, but it is always interesting to wonder and to think.
Yeah.
So, now you know.
The fact
I just like
that,
learning about it.
Okay. What? Stranger Things.
We always come back to
Stranger
this.
Things. They talk about, like, the, you would need, like, a lot of energy, a lot of power to, like, open this portal or whatever. Mm-hmm. What do they call it? Like, the gate. Yeah. To open the gate. And obviously in Stranger Things they're able to do that. But, like, the fact that as far as we know, humans have not been able to, like, produce this amount of energy because it's so powerful, like, so strong that only, like, literally, like, I'm gonna say Mother Earth, like, only, like, and the environment, like, can create it.
Right.
Like, celestial bodies. Only celestial bodies can create that amount of energy. Like, that's so
cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's so, like, it just makes you feel really small. Like,
yeah.
No matter, like, how hard we try, like, it's such, like, it's not, like, something that can, like, be reproduced.
Right.
To the same scale.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What's also crazy
bro.
is that there's a lab in Switzerland and France that's called CERN. Have you ever heard of them?
I think you've brought
I
this
probably
up to me.
did. Well, they have what is it called? They have, like, a collider. It's only been turned on 3 times because it has to use so much energy. But basically what they do is they just take different atoms and they, like, launch them at each other to collide to try and, like, either make new ones or to be able to, like, break them up enough to find subatomic particles. And the last one they did, the third one, was, like, 4 or 5 months ago, I think. And they found more subatomic particles. I did not do the research to this, so I don't know what they were, but I just think that's super interesting. And I feel like that goes with, like, we're trying to get the energy for it, but because it's so much energy, this one thing has only ever been turned on 3 times. That's crazy. And it has it has the amount of energy that would be able to produce a mini black hole.
What?
Yeah.
Why haven't we done that?
We probably don't want to create a mini black hole. But what if it turns bigger?
I know, but, like, I thought the whole thing about science was like, oh, you want to,
Yeah, but I don't think they would want to risk something that they truly know nothing about.
You don't think?
I think they would first find a black hole in space and then try and...
You would hope. You would hope they wouldn't just, like, oh, yeah,
do
guys,
it on
sorry,
Earth.
that was such... We didn't think the black hole was going to get that big, you guys. So sorry about that.
My bad.
Let me just do something about that. Can you get rid of black holes? Can you just, like...
think so.
Or no?
I think they just eventually die.
Thinking about
like everything else.
This is like different, but it's also the same. Thinking about like Ant-Man. Okay.
Quantum stuff. Got it.
Quantum stuff. Like
I had to take quantum classes.
Do you know how to turn into Ant-Man?
No, I don't.
What was the point then? Why are you even taking these classes?
Great question. That's a
question.
great question.
Can we do that? Like, I want to know. Like, can we do that? Like, can we shrink people? Or like, somebody's mom or somebody's wife was like floating in quantum space, whatever the fuck that means, in like the little cruiser or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just lost there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because it's so small.
That's so.
See, oh my god, you said what did you say right before that?
Talking about Ant-Man, quantum, particles.
Right before you said that they were floating. Oh yeah. I think that has to go back to quantum entanglement.
Everything goes back to.
Because I think it would be possible theoretically.
Oh my gosh! Don't turn into Mr. fucking Clark.
That
this is all theoretical.
If you could do the thing where like you go from New York to Paris or whatever.
Sounds painful. Don't want to do that.
You could. I almost said it again. You could like.
Almost theoretically.
God, why do I want to say that? You could, I guess.
Instead of saying theoretical, you just say I guess.
In like a smaller version.
Oh yeah. No, I see what you're saying. You know. Yeah. So my thing though,
but
is
then
like,
at the same,
you get stuck in between.
But then
so, like,
probably
you like get disintegrated basically, and then you get put back together on the other one. Mm-hmm. But like, there has to be times where you just get stuck.
Yeah.
What does that even look like? What does stuck look like if you're separated? Is there, like you said, it brings up the consciousness.
So
like,
I watched a podcast about one thing, the Project Philadelphia, something like that, where they were testing teleportation and stuff, and supposedly
why are we testing this?
This was a long time ago. Not a long time ago.
Okay.
Supposedly the people were like turning invisible and like teleporting and like stuff like that, but some of them when they went a really far distance, like they were trying to like get this whole
Is this real? What are we talking about right now?
It is something.
Are people teleporting?
It is something that people. It's kind of like one of those things like MK Ultra, where it's like we're not really sure that it happened, except this is less credible than MK Ultra. There's people that have, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
But basically people would, when they came from one place to the other, they like didn't, like you said, they didn't fully whatever, so like limbs were like sticking out of other places. Some people were like just frozen in like a catatonic state, and like they couldn't move, but like they were still alive there, and like conscious, yeah,
whatever that means.
Whatever
if we're reduced, because really I forgot, I was watching something political, and they were talking about, like, the fact that we're all, like, particles. Like, does every particle then have a conscious? Like, how is it only that we have a conscious if all of our particles are together?
Because of the brain?
Yeah, okay, but the brain is made of particles. So is every particle of the brain have consciousness? Or, like, is it a light switch where if you have, like, one less particle or whatever, then you don't have a consciousness? Like, thinking about them separating, coming back together, if it doesn't come back together all the way, then you just aren't. Like, are you not a human? Are you not having thoughts? Like, are you then, like, a rock at that point? Like, what? Where's the line of, like, what makes you have, like, literally, does every particle have a conscious?
Well, that's what
or,
I
like,
was
going to say,
like
too,
is
black
like,
and white?
Is, like,
it's like a
with
puzzle.
the Ant-Man thing, I don't necessarily know if it would be possible because you're made up of atoms that are already super, super small. You can't make them smaller to form a smaller you.
True. Because you would need less particles then.
Right.
But if you have less particles, then you
then
can't.
What if it's not you?
Yeah. It would, like, how can you make a fingernail, like, if you only have, like, 1/10 of the particles or whatever?
Right.
Like, it's not a fingernail then at that point. Okay, so that was HAARP.
That was HAARP.
Okay.
And ionospheric testing.
Alaska's scarier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Still want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's read the cards. Who go first?
My card is A time for healing. Balsamic Moon. Pulling this card suggests that the past is in the past and a bright future is beckoning. However, before you take your next step, make sure that both you and the situation feel healed. This is not the time to paper over cracks or to simply pretend that everything is okay. Rather, you still need a little more time to heal and to soothe both yourself and anyone else in need. Then remind yourself that anything is possible if you believe it. This is also a time to surrender and wait to hear guidance from the universe. Powerful insights can be had. If you know that someone or something really isn't good for you, this card is a reminder to surrender. Start to work on your belief in your dreams so you're ready when the time comes. So then it says, attune to the moon. When one is healed, all are healed. And additional meanings are...
When one atom is healed, all the atoms are healed.
So you do need every particle. Anyways, additional meanings. It's time to let go of the past. You are about to turn the corner. You need more time to heal and think about how the situation would look if everyone were healed. This card has so much to say. The teachings. Patience is required at the time of the balsamic moon. It's a time for self-care as you slowly but surely prepare yourself for the new moon, which is just around the corner. No matter which point in your current moon cycle you have pulled this card, is a reminder to go a bit easy on yourself. The time to step into your creatrix power will come soon enough.
Ooh.
Give yourself the time you need. And right now we are almost at a full moon.
Okay.
Wow. Pull this card. It's a reminder to go a little bit easy on yourself. Yeah.
That's cute.
It is cute.
I like that.
It's almost like because this shows the balsamic moon is like almost a new moon. So we're almost like complete opposite in that way. Interesting.
Yeah. That's cool.
Don't know what that means, but heal, guys. Heal.
Take time to heal. Okay. The one that I pulled is the turtle and coriander. The meaning of this is satisfaction. And this says, the turtle and coriander calls us to be satisfied with what we have been given or what we have achieved. It invites a moment of rest and reflection. Maybe healing. I added that.
Okay.
No.
I was like, literally stop.
Perhaps due to Aesop's fable, The Tortoise and the Hare, turtles are symbols of patience and good health. In this folktale, the slow but determined tortoise wins its race against the speedy but distracted rabbit. The turtle triumphs by pacing himself, illustrating the adage.
Illustrating that.
Slow and steady wins the race. Similarly, in the Victorian language of flowers, coriander indicates concealed worth, reminding us that things may not always be as they appear. In other words, a dedicated tortoise who puts in the work can achieve just as much as, if not more than, the swiftest rabbit. And this came out upright. So it says, slow down and enjoy the journey. Avoid rushing toward your goals for the sake of winning. Arrive in your own time. And the questions are, what in my life brings me satisfaction? Have I taken time to express gratitude for what I have? And am I rushing things or honoring my own pace?
I feel like those literally go
I really, really, really like those. Yeah.
Healing and taking time. Like,
yeah.
And this talk about really self-care. I feel like that's sort of
and that's
self-care.
like perfect timing, especially for both of us with like the end of the semester, being able to finally just like take a breather and do what we want and not be swamped with work and like homework and school and everything. So,
and the stress of the holidays.
Definitely gonna be resting and healing right now.
A time for healing.
Yes.
Okay, well, we learned some interesting, scary, and again went back to our two staples in life, which is existentialism and Stranger Things. So we did that.
So we checked all the boxes. My podcast bingo cards coming out soon.
Stay tuned next episode when we also talk about existentialism and Stranger Things.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.